Warning, if you're easily offended, triggered, or considered a snowflake by your friends, you're listening to the wrong podcast. The views and opinions you're about to hear are raw, unfiltered, and without any regard for political correctness.
I'm offended.
Shut up. Longtime friends Scott, Will, Devie, and Jay dive deep into issues that other podcasts are too scared to talk about.
No topic is off limits.
All opinions are welcome.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Unlike some other popular panel shows, you know what we're talking about. These four friends have no agenda other than to tell it like it is. This is The Big Divide.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to The Big Divide, a show that brings black folks, well, one black folk, one white folk, one Spanish folk, and then a Jewish man together every single week to talk about, you know, our positions on different stuff. So The Big Divide is definitely intended to bring people together around ideas that might keep us apart. So The Big Divide. Let me do a quick roll call around the room here. Is Will out there somewhere?
Boricua is in the house.
The Boricua is in the house covering the Spanish side of things. What about the King T'Challa? Is he out there?
I am here, man, in the suit right now.
You're in the suit right now?
I'm sitting here on the podcast in the suit.
Are you sweating in your Black Panther suit, bro?
Yeah.
Dude, he ain't taking it off. He's like my son. Right, my son gets his costume. He wants to wear it every single day. I saw a picture on Facebook with you in that suit, bro. I can imagine you sleeping in it tonight. That's funny. And then finally, we got the Mr. Yarmulke himself. Is Jay out there?
The tribe is in the house.
The tribe
I'm in the office. Yeah.
House. All right. Before we get started, I'm just going to remind everybody that's listening. Do us a favor. Go to bigdivideshow.com. You can actually give us topics there. Let us know what's going on. Tell us who you like. Who's your favorite host? If you want to hit the like button on YouTube, Spotify, you could share us. Put us on your Facebook if you like the content. Go ahead and share it or hit the like button. That helps us move up in the algorithms. Good stuff.
You've got mail.
And there it is. We have mail in the mailbag, and since we like our audience more than we like ourselves, we have mail. Tristan, do you have our producer, Tristan?
Yeah,
done?
so we actually have a vote this week for who the best host is.
The best host of the week. Who is it?
Best host. Well, first of all, this vote comes from someone named Sasha. Do any of you know a Sasha?
I know a Sasha. Yeah,
I know a Sasha.
You do?
Yeah,
okay.
I know a Sasha.
We hung out with
you
her.
all know Sasha.
Everybody but Willie hung out with her at this weekend at the Halloween party. Willie's so antisocial, he doesn't hang around us at all.
All right. Well, Sasha votes for Jay.
Yeah, baby.
Yay!
All right. I'll take care of Sasha. So that's early voting, right? Because it's prior to Election Day.
True.
Okay. Dude.
And then the other thing was the other piece of mail actually came through the form of a comment on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
And that was someone named Daniela. And it says, so Will said that big tech wants socialism. Can he elaborate on that? I believe big tech wants more control and more money, but how does socialism help them without ultimately hurting them too?
Here's how they want socialism, okay? We have the freedom of the press, freedom of speech. So when companies like Twitter and Facebook ban the New York Post, and they don't want the New York Post, an article that has been proven to be factual, to get out to the public, that is controlling what the people actually acquire from the news medias, okay? And that's called Communist China. That's how they operate. That's how Russia operates. Socialism, right? Which also ultimately leads to communism, okay? And that's why it's in our First Amendment, freedom of speech. Right. And the hearings yesterday were very powerful, right? Especially Ted Cruz, when he asked Jack Dorsey, the CEO from Twitter, who the hell elected you, to a political office to ban news media outlets from getting out information to the public. Right. And that sums it up right there. And that's very dangerous. And in the history of our country, that has never, ever happened before. We have division, your political affiliation, that's okay. But this is not about Democrat. This is not about Republican. This is about us as Americans protecting the Constitution of the United States of America. That's what's at stake here.
I'm going to jump in and just say I think it's an even easier answer. It's just censorship. If you're okay with censorship, it means that somebody gets to control what you get to hear, in turn gets to control what you get to think about anything, right? Like, hey, listen, we don't want to get that out there. We don't want them thinking about it. So if for some reason they're censoring like they did with the New York Post, then that is a form of socialism. You are designing the social fabric out there, right? By censoring. So, somebody made a decision, they didn't want it out there because they want a certain candidate to be voted in, then they're making decisions for the country that has nothing to do with freedom and the people.
Okay, I got to weigh in on this too. Daniela, right. I think that is a very great question. It's perspicacious on your part.
Hey, look at him. He's trying to get host of the week again next week. He's campaigning, bro.
Yeah. Well, and here's what I love about the question, because they're walking a very fine line. The corporate entity aspect of big tech is purely capitalistic. Their business, they're money oriented. The ownership of big tech is idealistic. They're ideologues. And that's the tear. That's the rub. They're walking the line between the two. And here's the problem. This censorship is a characteristic of socialism and fascism. And socialism and fascism will eat their own. And these guys are walking that wire, and they're going to get gobbled up if they're not careful by their own. That is a great
it's even
question.
More sinister
I love
than
that.
I think it's more sinister, to be honest with you. I was just trying to weigh in on what she had asked Will. I think it's more sinister. I think I think they're gambling. I think they're gambling that if they can help Biden get in, then Biden will help them. Does this make sense? Like they're right now they're on the cusp of after this election, what's going to be considered is the platform versus publisher kind of law, where, hey, are you a publisher or are you a platform? If you're a platform and you're censoring, then people can sue you, right?
Exactly.
If you're a publisher and you're slandering, if anybody else they're in a little bit of quicksand. If they're publishers, and just like the guy who's a MAGA hat kid in front of the Lincoln Memorial, whatever, what was his name?
Yeah, Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman.
Nicholas
right.
Sandman.
So Nicholas Sandman sued CNN and won millions. Nobody even knows how much he won. He won so much, and they lost because they are publishers and they slandered him, right? So I think I think that Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg, they kneel down at night, and the people in charge of Google kneel down at night and say, please let Biden win, because they're playing to help Biden win. So then Biden wins and the Democrats get in, then they'll be like, oh, whew, we're going to be okay, because they're going to create laws that are going to assist us in not being sued in this capacity, either as a platform or a publisher. They see that they're in trouble.
Well, I think there's a lot of truth in that. But did you see the dripping arrogance of those guys yesterday?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to jump through the screen and strangle them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and the effect trickles down. Yesterday it was announced on Laura Ingram's show. She had Burgess Owens on last night, and it's a close race. He's a former NFL player, and he's running for his congressional district for the House of Representatives. And it's a very close race. So he has spent ads in the newspaper. No longer can he place ads in a major newspaper in Utah. It's been banned. He's banned. He cannot advertise no more. What is that? All right. That's the trickle-down effect right there and then.
Dangerous.
Right?
So
they
dangerous.
don't want them to take over the House. But this is Utah, right? Utah, which has been Republican, a red state for many years, right? And look at what they're doing now. Holy crap. It's sad what's going on in America. It is really sad.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so that's
when you say
good.
Will. So when you say they, who is the they? Because you're saying they. First, you were talking about the Democrats,
the news outlets, and then, right? So
it's not Democratic. It's not Democrat or Republican. It's
but look at the affiliation that Burgess Owens is running for. He's running for the Republicans. Okay,
he's a Republican
it's a tight race. And no longer can he place ads. Why not? Right?
So, Devie, can you agree that the media is tilted to the left? They're censoring the New York Post, who's talking about Biden. They're stopping this guy from running ads. He's a conservative. They're fact checking every single thing a conservative puts on Facebook, right? So, Devie, are you saying are you like you want? Well, who's the they? The they are the Democrats. I mean, I'm going to say that the media, most of the media in the United States, is actually slanted left and favoring Democrats right now. They're censoring conservatives. They're fact checking conservatives. Like when Trump's taxes came out, somebody hacked Trump's taxes to get him, but Twitter let him go. Even though they said that, well, the New York Post can't post anything because it was hacked stuff, but somebody hacked.
But Scooty, I don't mean to interrupt, but I need to draw a distinction here. I don't think that is the Democrats. I think those are Democrat-leaning publishers. There's a difference. That's not the Democrat Party, I don't think. I think that's people that are sympathetic to the Democrats. There's a difference.
Jay, who's benefiting from it? Who's
the
benefiting?
Democrats. The Democrats. It's not like the Democrats are pulling the strings on it. I think this is an independent third party who's very interested in the benefit of the Democrats. There's a difference there.
So, Jay, let me ask you this.
But I agree because Scott is posing that question to me, and I completely agree with Jay. So that's why I wanted to ask, what is this, you're saying that, hey, the Democrats are doing this, so they're controlling the media?
Listen, did you listen to the hearings at all? Did you listen to big tech hearings yesterday?
Yeah, I saw we got the clip and all that.
Did a single Democrat say, hey, you know what, we don't think you should have done that to the Post either? No, they're saying good job, guys. They are applauding what they did.
So I'm with you, Scott, in that, hey, they could have said it, but to Jay's point, are the Democrats behind with these strings and pulling these, the media like puppets? I think it's just an independent, these companies who are looking for a way that they can boost themselves, and so they are leaning and supporting more of the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party is saying, hey, if you guys are going to be for us, why are we going to shut you up? Whether that's right or wrong, I'm just saying, why would the Democrats shut that down if these media outlets are helping push their agenda?
Wow, I can't believe you asked that.
I'll tell you, can I throw something out there? Good. This is a topic I wanted to bring up today, and it plays right into this. So we can carry the conversation on through this. I would hope that everybody watched the 60 Minutes interview with Leslie Stahl and President Trump. And if you did, here's what I would ask everybody to do if you haven't done it already. Watch the on-air version and then watch the uncut version that the White House leaked. You can see it through Facebook, surprisingly. And in the process of that, you can hear Stahl absolutely badgering the president in the background. You don't hear all that in the online interview. You hear what sounds like an aggressive interview. In the uncut version, you hear badgering. And at one point, Trump brings up the Biden scandal, and Leslie Stahl says, and I'm paraphrasing, she says, "What scandal? There is no scandal." I about fell out of my chair.
Right, exactly.
And now I don't think Nancy Pelosi called Leslie Stahl and said, "Look, you're not going to talk about this." I think Leslie Stahl does it on her own in conjunction with the editorial board at CBS. So I think it's an entity in and of itself that is certainly in sympathy with the Democrat Party, but I don't think it's the Democrat Party directing that.
All right. Question. I have to totally disagree with that. I mean, who's a pundit? I mean, Brennan's a pundit for who these days? Brennan, the ex-CIA director.
Clearly for the Dems.
Oh, yes, exactly. McCabe, who did he get hired by after he was fired? I can't remember who he got hired by. Was it CNN or MSNBC?
No, I think there's a difference there, Scott.
Papadopoulos, who actually worked in the Clinton White House. Papadopoulos, I can't remember.
Not Papadopoulos, Stephanopoulos.
Stephanopoulos. Who's he work for
ABC.
again? I can't remember.
He works for ABC.
Oh, he works for the media. Yeah, you're right. There's probably no communication. There's probably no backroom communication between the media and the Democrats right now.
I didn't say
that would be so naive to think.
I did not say that. I said that the Democrat
you said you don't think the Democrats are pulling the strings.
Right. In every case, I don't believe that's so. Is
All
it
right,
happening in
they're
some
pulling the
cases? I'm sure it
strings.
is. You think the
Okay.
Democrats are pulling the
So watch-
strings on the
watch
newspaper
this.
in
Watch
Salt Lake
this.
City?
Listen, I believe. Here's what I believe. I believe you don't need to pull very many strings because, and I wish I would have got that. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was one clip I wanted to send to Tristan that was just every single talking point about Biden was exactly the same script. Every news channel was saying the exact same thing that day. They do this a lot. They get their talking points in the morning. Who are they getting them from?
I do see that, and they get them from the Democrat Party. I get that.
Oh my.
I get that. I just don't think the Democrat Party is directing the entire machine that we call the media.
Right.
That's the Washington establishment right there, the DC swamp. I'll give you this point. Ready? Okay. Comey, he leaked to the Wall Street Journal, and they ran on that.
Are you sure it wasn't the Times?
The New York Times. You're absolutely correct. Okay,
Yeah,
the New
I
York
know.
Times. Thank you very much for the correction.
And I'm going to tell you this right now. That right there is if you had to draw a pyramid of Democratic talking points coming down, I guarantee the Times is probably the one that's disseminating. All right, guys, here. Everybody else is feeding off of them. Like, here's your talking points today. Here's your talking points today, and it's the Times. Comey knew exactly where to go. The Holocaust deniers there, Jay.
Yep. And now that the Bidens, that story is true, it came from his email, nobody's running it. Nobody's running it. Only Fox and the New York Post. And the New York Post has been banned from sharing it.
Now,
Just think about that.
Can I tell you the upside of that, there, Will?
What?
Fox's biggest ratings.
Yes.
When they were talking about the Boboloboluskis, but we can't say his name for real because we might get banned.
Yeah.
So when they were talking, that interview was the biggest rating. So that means that people are interested more. And capitalistically, people are interested in what Joe did, which is fantastic. And Pennsylvania. Well, we got a clip here. Yeah, I want to get past this because we're now at 20 minutes in on this one email and this one topic. So we got.
You can see the level of interest in the poll numbers today. I think as of this morning, something like 52% of the American population was now aware of the scandal that Leslie Stahl doesn't think is a scandal.
Exactly.
So there definitely is interest in this.
Yeah.
And Scott, what are people Googling? Right? What does Google?
How do I change my vote?
How do I change my vote?
There you go.
And it's funny because in Pennsylvania was the most, and there was actually, you know what? I'm going to go after that first clip. This is a nice little transition here. So let's play this clip of the first clip I have to play to hit it.
But kiddo, I want you to just take a look, okay? You don't have to agree, but I want you to look in my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, and I am not going to cooperate with it, okay?
There it is, man. And because of what he said on the debate stage, people in Pennsylvania actually Googled the most, can I change my vote? Right after the debate. And it's funny because, you know, I don't know, like the guy says, I'm okay with fracking. Nope, I'm going to ban fracking. We're going to end fossil fuels. Like, these are crazy policies, and they're getting away with it because of, Trump derangement syndrome. Oh, it's unbelievable.
I agree with that 100%. Sad.
Jay?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm with you. I got it. Yeah. In fact, I like the fracking issue. The fracking issue is taking me to a whole other place. You want me to go there?
Yeah, go.
All right. I noticed there was a big story in the news this week that got very little coverage, and I think it really just kind of got crammed out because it was good for Donald Trump and because there were so many other big things going on. You guys know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Sudan coming to the table and making a deal with Israel.
Bahrain, yeah.
No, Sudan was the latest to come on board. Okay. Bahrain and UAE had already been on board, and now Sudan. And this isn't the end of it. This is the beginning of a wave. But I was considering how this is going on. I mean, Trump's been in office for 3.5 years or so, and look at the progress that's been made in the Middle East. And why now? And presidents have been trying this for decades. Why now? And I'm rethinking a question that we talked about a few weeks ago. That was the question of moving the embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And I kind of just pushed it off. I didn't think it was much, and I've been rethinking it. And I think that move, among that with one other factor, are major factors in this breakout of peace in the Middle East. So I think the move to Jerusalem was bigger than I had thought it was a couple of weeks ago, in that it has signaled to the Middle East and the world that the United States is firmly behind Israel. And under the Democrats, we don't know that. In fact, yes. I would argue exactly the opposite. But there's another factor that's making this happen. And you know what it is? It's fracking. It's the fact that the United States has become energy independent, and we no longer need the Middle East for their oil, and it's changing the political dynamic. And that's why they're coming to the table with Israel. I'm absolutely convinced of it.
Yep.
And if you take that away and you take away our energy independence, you're going to change the geopolitical shift that's taking place right now in our favor. You're going to turn it right around.
Jay is smart man, boy. Yeah. He's a smart man.
And hasn't that been the goal, though? Yeah. And hasn't that been the goal for us?
What, energy independence?
Yes.
We've been talking about it since 1972.
Yeah, but the reason why Donald Trump got it done, one reason alone. He's not compromised. He got into office and he said what he was going to do, and he did what he said he was going to do. Good and point. The lobbyist, he doesn't care, right? Yep. He's not bought. Yep. Everybody else comes with their agenda, your typical politician, and they say things to the American people. But then they become compromised because they want to remain in office, right? Yep. So they got to listen to the corporations. Right now, for an example, big tech, just notice, okay? And then they become compromised and they don't get the things done. They become part of the swamp, okay? Donald Trump, he's saying, no, nobody can buy me. And they're throwing everything at him, right? And he's fighting for the American people, right? And I got to give hats off, and I'm going to go somewhere right here. Kanye West, Ice Cube, right? They came out and they publicly, endorsed Donald Trump. And they're not buying...
And Fitty Cent, who didn't want to become 20 Cent.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't think you endorsed.
Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Did Jay just say Fitty?
I did.
Yeah. He's a Fitty. Hey, Jay's from the East Coast, baby. Jay's from the East Coast.
Yeah. I'm a New Yorker. I got that.
I got you. I'm feeling it, Jay. 50 Cent. All right.
50 Cent.
You know.
I didn't know what to do with 20, but
because Scott would have said 50, he would have been all white and proper. It would have been 50
exactly.
Cent. But go ahead. Good on you, Jay.
Here.
Good on you, Jay.
And I'm going to say one more thing, right? You know, when Donald Trump ran for president and he was at the Republican debate back in 2016, the one person that I couldn't stand, and he almost lost his Senate seat, that was Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, you can see that he was just a typical politician. And ever since that Donald Trump took office, he showed all these Republicans how to be real with the American people. And that's what's going to determine this election. I believe human behavior, no matter what the media says about it's all out there, it's all emotion. And Ted Cruz, he's a fighter now. He's no longer a typical politician. He tells it like it is, and he's willing to fight. And they've grown up. I'm proud of Ted Cruz. I love that guy. All right, and he's going to win his Senate seat when he gets back to the election. So for his election bid, by a landslide. Beto O'Rourke almost took him down. Right, that will never ever happen because he showed people how to be fighters for the American people. And the new Democrat or the new Republican Party that's out there, I'm telling you right now, when you got Kanye West, Ice Cube, 50 cents, right? Moving over, all right? Voting Republican for the first time. That's a movement.
Well, we got to be clear. We got to be clear of this. Ice Cube has not said that he is supporting of Trump. What he has said was one of these guys is going to win. So we're going to need to sit down when he's talking about the black agenda. He's saying one of these guys got to win, is going to win. So we got to have a conversation with either one of those. And he went to go to the Democrats, and they said, "Hey, wait to after the election," and then he went to Trump's camp, and they were willing to hear him, and that's the only thing he's saying is, "Hey, he's having a conversation with them," but he has not come out and said, "Hey, I'm supporting Trump or I'm supporting Joe Biden." He hasn't said he's supporting either way. He's just saying one of these guys is going to be president, and which one of them is going to be more likely to address the issues that directly affect Black Americans.
I'm going to give you an issue that affects Black Americans. Here's one big issue, okay? Kanye West said this. 1,000 babies are aborted every single day in the United States of America. Black babies. 63% of Planned Parenthood locations are in Black and Latinos location. Why is that? Why is that? Just figure it out. All right? Your population could be double the size, Devie. All right? They could be double the size. And we're killing babies left and right. All right? Just notice.
So
right?
is that a Democrat or a Republican thing? So why who?
That's a Democrat. That's a Democrat issue. Right? You know, ACB just got nominated to the Supreme Court. They didn't want her. Right? And she was well qualified. She wasn't like Kamala, just a woman. Let her be there because she's a woman. Oh, no. Right? You know, her physical nature as a woman should not qualify her to be president. It should be her merits. Right?
It's all now you're going to upset Devie because he's only voting because she's a woman. He's only voting
exactly.
Thank you, Will.
Listen, I want to backtrack on something. There was a nice little dovetail in there where Will said, the lobbyist. So, right. Donald Trump came in. He's like, look, I'm beholden to nobody. Here, take my money every single quarter that you're going to pay me to be a president. So all these great things, he came in really as a public servant, and none of the media is giving him credit for that. None of the left. I mean, I sent you guys all a pic privately where he was shaking hands with Al Sharpton and Jesse and Jesse Jackson, right? Because he had just donated a bunch of money to help out, I think it was Black scholarships, and he was so racist. No, they all loved him, right? And then all of a sudden,
history of this.
Yes, exactly. In fact, he was a Democrat at one point, right? This is he was an admitted Democrat most of his life, but he saw where the party was going. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, So the whole New York Post article that just came out is exactly that. Here's a guy that is, and they have yet to dispute it. The Biden camp has yet to dispute it. In fact, Jill even came out and says, "Hey, who cares what's on Hunter's laptop?" She said that. Who cares what's on Hunter's laptop? So either she's a Russian agent, talking about it as disinformation, or she knows that it's Hunter's laptop just like everybody else does.
Well, she is a Russian agent. We know this because she said what's on the laptop is not important.
Yes. Now, here's the other thing. The other thing is this guy that came out as the partner. He says we sat down. Nobody is denying this. We sat down. We talked to China. We set up a China company. 10% was going to the big guy. Like, we know this. And if he gets in, he again is beholden to foreign money that wants their favors. They're going to call in their favors. This has been the DC elite, and this is why I hate them so much. This is why I'm in favor of the bowling ball in the washing machine coming in, just tearing it all up, baby. That's what I wanted. So,
well, the thing that concerns me about this is it's bad enough that what you say is absolutely true, but what is so bad is how blatant and so upfront it has become.
Yes.
Nobody's even hiding it.
Nobody. It's crazy.
It's just
I keep thinking I'm going to wake up. I'm going to wake up and it's all going to be a dream. I'm like, this can't be real.
Right.
It's scary.
That scares the living daylights out of me.
Out of me too, Jay. I'm scared.
Crazy, dude.
It's like
scared.
We're living in an Orwell novel.
Yeah. All right, I got another clip for you guys.
If you don't like something, just call it something else.
Yeah, it's if you guys have never seen 1984, and you have to. I mean, to watch the movie's hard, but to really sit back.
Read the book.
Read
the book.
Watch the movie. It's whatever. It kind of gives you the gist of it, even though I hated the movie. But it is the idea where everything's controlled, and then they have to brainwash you. All right. The next clip, and we go ahead. I don't even know if we're gonna have time here. I might want to cover that after the election because we got this is a big show. It's right before the Super Bowl of elections. And by the way, a big plug: we are having an election night party at our office. So Devie, you're more than welcome to come back out and hang out like you did this past weekend. We're gonna have red tablecloths on the right, blue tablecloths on the left. We're gonna have purple in the middle. We're gonna play 4 different news channels in the office, right to left swinging, and then we got 5 other TVs that'll have podcasts that are featuring. This is a big event, man. This is a Super Bowl of elections. It's gonna be fun.
Dan, for those that don't know, we've got 4 100-inch screens in the room. So.
Yeah, so if you're sitting on the left, you're going to be watching CNN. If you're sitting on the right, you're going to be watching like OAN and Fox. In the middle will be MSNBC. Then we'll have podcasts. I got a bunch of podcast guys that are actually broadcasting, and I'm going to pop into different rooms where TVs are just to check in on those guys. But it's going to be fun, baby, at the office. Bring something to pass. Bring a dish just like we do on Super Bowl. We've had Super Bowls there forever. I can't even remember when we didn't have Super Bowls there. I've been there for 15 years. And bring something to pass. Bring whatever BYOB, your own drink. I think that maybe we'll even do a live off of the. We'll maybe put a camera up and just feed it off the bar and do a live off the bigdivideshow.com. I think we can do that. I'm sure that Trustin's good enough to do that. So, but join us 11 on Tuesday night. I'll probably be there about 6 o'clock. I'm gonna go early and vote, and then. Do some camera work, some videoing, while I'm in line. I'm probably going to be in a line a long time, but I'm dedicating it's a holiday on Tuesday for me. Absolute holiday.
I voted yesterday for what it's worth. I decided to go early voting. I was getting anxious about all the long lines that I was. Not long at all. Not long at all. There was maybe a 2-minute wait, and I got into the polling venue.
All right.
And
I was going to roll around and ask, did you vote? Did you change your mind? Did you vote Biden or Trump?
I went Biden. No. Come on.
All right. Anybody else vote already? Who voted already?
Not me.
I'm voting Monday.
You voting Monday? Who are you voting for right now? Who are you voting for right now? You still don't know. You have to be decided by the end of the show. You have to be decided by the end of the show, bro.
Scoot, I'm penciling you in.
So you're simply going to walk into the line going, I hope I know by the time I get up to the ballot box.
It's my decision, isn't it? So are you going to force me to vote for?
No, I'm not forcing you to vote for anybody. I'm asking you what your decision is.
Before, right. And I told you, I don't know. I don't like either one of them. Right. And then if there's another choice or another option there, I may go with that option. I could go Biden. I could go Trump. I could go with whoever else is on it.
Kanye West.
What was it? I don't know if it was Devie. Were we messaging back and forth or were we just texting back and forth from Devie? Didn't I tell you, vote for don't vote for the guy, vote for your life afterwards. If you like high taxes, then if you like the government taking your money, then vote for Biden. If you like to keep your money, then you vote for Trump, right?
Because we go through this every election about high taxes, lower taxes, and all that kind of stuff. And
there's going to be new taxes he's proposing. He's proposing a federal property tax, which has never existed.
Oh, okay. Is for people who are making $400,000 or more and all that, right?
Oh no, bro.
No, property tax, a federal property tax, 3%.
Okay. We're talking
about that as a real estate investor. How you feel about that?
By the way, that's the first step to a wealth tax.
I missed what I thought we were just talking about taxes in general.
How do you feel about that? Okay, no problem. This is part of taxes. That's never happened before. These are new radical taxes. Deeves.
What's your question?
What? Property tax, federal property tax. You for that or against that?
I'm against taxes, period.
Oh, good. Then what the heck is the decision?
Wow.
What? All right. Let's move on. I can't take it.
Okay, go. Move on.
We're gonna move on, bro. I can't.
Well, so I'm supposed to make a decision because of that? That's supposed to be my ultimate.
Is nobody voting for Howie Hawkins?
Dude, bro, Devie. I should make a decision on that. You just said you're against high taxes or being taxed at all. And I'm like, well, there's going to be new taxes introduced if Biden wins. New radical taxes that never existed before.
So I'm also for a woman to make a choice on whether she wants to have a baby or not. So do I?
Okay. Who's against that? Who's against that as a Republican? Anybody? Who's against that? Is Trump against that?
I'm against infanticide.
Okay, right? No problem.
Once the baby is born.
Listen. You think that Trump has come out and says, yep, we're going to get rid of all the Planned Parenthood places. Has he said that?
No.
Devie, has he said that?
No, but that's a Republican. So
no, don't lump it in. We're talking about a guy. Have you heard a campaign promise from Trump?
I haven't heard him say that, right?
Okay, but we have heard Biden say he's going to raise taxes.
Okay.
Devie, how about this? Do you believe in God? Are you religious? You go to church?
God, I want to go there again today.
Yeah.
It's part of it also, bro. Why can you go there and nobody else can go there? Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's not going to have anything to do with it because what my
they're etching God out, bro. They want to take out God from the Pledge of Allegiance. That's a major.
We've been taking issue. God out of Christmas for forever.
He's okay with that. Okay, right there. We just got our answer. He's okay with that. He's okay with God going away. All right.
Yeah, like God is up there in heaven saying, "Oh, y'all etching me out, so it's over." So, but
wow,
it doesn't make a difference.
Anyway,
God is still in control. So, what I believe they etch him out or not is
all right. So
earlier, so nobody likes Howie Hawkins, right? Is that where we are?
That's where we are.
I'm going with Howie. I got it.
I know. Listen.
See, I'm throwing you a lifeline.
Here's a problem for
let's go with Howie. Yeah,
there's a problem for Devie on this line. He doesn't want to tell us who he's voting for, but we already know who he's voting for. Everybody in this line knows who you're voting
for. Joe Biden.
Exactly. He's not. No, he's not. He's not voting for Biden. We already talked. He told us.
Kamala. Oh, Kamala. How do you pronounce that
Kamala
name?
Harris.
Kamala.
Yeah, there you go.
And I got a clip for him that he sent me. I can't. I don't know. All right, here we go. I want you to play this other clip. That second clip I sent about the COVID, right? Okay, this is why I hate politicians in general. This is why I hate Democrats and established DC elites tick me off, even if it's GOP, if it's Democrat. This is why. Play this. You guys are going to about to get wowed over this. Play.
It's really sad with the first COVID relief bill. I'm not as familiar with the second one, so if you'd like to break that down.
Same one.
Okay, because the first one was literally, but the first ballot was literally just a handout to the richest people in the country.
For the
first COVID relief bill, yeah. Well, no. I'm talking about the first ballot that they did several months ago. It was the largest transfer of wealth which has occurred in all of human history, and most of it went to the wealthiest people in the country and in the world, frankly. Basically, they gave the Federal Reserve, I believe, $450 billion so that they could leverage that to give out about $4.25 trillion in low-interest loans to the largest companies in the country. And then small businesses had to go through the Small Business Administration, which got a total of $350 billion and usually deals with about $30 billion over the course of a year, and now had to give out $350 billion over the course of several weeks. And so what happened was there was an insane amount of fraud. A lot of these small businesses didn't get the money. 60% of the businesses that closed during this lockdown are never going to reopen. But look what happened. The richest people in the country got these interest-free loans from the government, and now they're going to be able to buy up all of the assets of the small businesses that went under during COVID, and it's just going to be a massive consolidation of corporate power. And that's what the Democrats and Republicans gave to us in response to a pandemic.
And there's more.
Yep.
The lockdowns destroyed the small businesses, and the big box stores and Amazon flourished, and their stock prices skyrocketed. Yep. So if you were a mom and pop shop that sold, bikes, you're done. But Walmart, they're good. They can sell all the bikes in the world.
1,000,000%.
There you go, boys and girls. That's what I'm voting against. I'm voting against everybody coming together going, how do we get the people closest to us, the richest people on the planet, all the money through the Treasury, through the Fed, and then they can funnel it back to us later on in the form of lobby money, in the form of campaign contributions. And while we, the working class and the small business owners who have to actually count, we got to make our decision based on decimal points, right? And this is why it's so important that, we take back the country.
You know what I'm waiting for in this bailout? I'm waiting for a lot of these loans to be forgiven, including the SBA loans. I can feel it coming around the corner.
Yeah, but even if they forgive the SBA loans, all the big guys like the Amazons and Walmart, right, the big corporations that got the $400 billion, they're low interest or interest-free loans. They're like, "Yep, we got ours, and you know what? Give the crumbs to the small. Yes, forgive their loans too." Yeah.
So then, why don't the current administration do that? Because none of the other administrations have done that.
Done what? Do what? Be specific.
Why don't they do that now?
Do what?
Why don't they forgive the SBA loans? Why don't they help small businesses now?
Oh, we don't want them to forgive anything, bro. This is still tax dollars that you're handing to the richest people.
I'm speculating that that's what's going to happen. I'm not saying that they've proposed it.
Yeah, you think it's a good thing that they forgive? Forget that.
Although they are talking about forgiving a lot of the PPP money.
All right, I know.
And
so
where's that money going to come from?
Wasn't that tax money? Yeah, wasn't that tax money?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's all being washed by the people who are at the high level $10,000 plate parties, all making conversations for the fate of the rest of the country, folks.
So right. So aren't Democrats and Republicans, aren't they all benefiting all these politics? And I'm with you, Scott, on hey, you're against the DC elite. Like I'm with you on that. I agree with you. And I know Trump hasn't been one of the DC elites, right? That's what I do like about.
Would you agree? Okay, Devie, would you agree that he's hated by the DC elite?
Yeah. I said that when he was hated from when he was before he even became president, when he was running for. That's what they
wasn't hated when he was like them. When he was a social elite, right? And he was hanging out at the parties and he was giving money. Again, I sent you the picture of, he's such a racist guy, even though Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson were at his table.
I'm talking about the Republicans too. I'm talking about when he was running as when he was running for president, and they didn't like him.
Ever since he announced coming down the escalator.
I love the guy that DC hates. That's all I got to say. It's such an easy choice for me. I love the guy that DC hates. I know he's got flaws. He's just like every other man that has flaws. Yeah. Right. And maybe that's why I want him there. I want him there because I got flaws. He got flaws. And he we already know you can't dirty him up any more than he's a mud monster. You could throw all the mud at him and he still gets more powerful because people are like, I mean,
he's a mud monster.
He's a mud monster, dude.
I like
if you went onto any union site, right? And you listen to the way the guys talk, right? It's like a locker room, just like you talked in the locker room and I talked in the locker room, right? It's like they're like, yeah, I get it. All right, so that was my that clip was to show you guys that even though we're arguing, red and blue, it's still a monopoly on tax money being funneled back into the capitalistic elite, right? That aren't going to have to pay it back, or they're going to get low interest loans, and the biggest wealth transfer in history just occurred. And what I love about that clip was, small businesses. What happens in the real estate market when who benefited in the big crash of 2008 when there were short sales? Who benefited the most? There was one name out there that made a lot of money in the crash. Who was it?
Are you thinking of an individual or a company?
An individual.
Oh, Warren Buffett did.
Why did Warren Buffett benefit the most?
Because he scarfed up a lot of the houses, a lot of the properties.
Exactly. People were losing houses left and right in the banks bailout, and the banks got bailed out, and they still got the houses. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? And the working class people living in the houses got
lost their houses,
got shafted, right? And then Warren Buffett comes in and goes, "Oh, look, a big crash and a bunch of houses that banks don't want. They'll give me big discounts. Let me buy all this tape up." And then what he did was, here's what he did. He bought all the properties. He became the biggest landlord in the country. He was sending in. He would set up an office in an area that they would go to the auctions, or they'd go buy big tape, and they would have crews redoing these places and then renting them out with the intention, ready for this, of creating notes later on through his own company again. So he'll, all right, you're living in the house right now. We're going to create a mortgage on this thing, and then what is he going to do? What happens then? He's probably doing it now.
He's going to sell or finance the house essentially, but they're going to do it under his own mortgage bank. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's going
to sell the paper off his.
Right. And he's doing it now. Actually, he's already shifting into other strategies.
He's shifting away from that paper. He's moving it in the stock market right now. He made an absolute killing on the crash, right? And it's the same thing. So now 60% of the small businesses went out. You're going to see these big companies buying them up and doing something with them, like all this real estate, especially the real estate. I mean, these businesses were sitting on something, and people are like, "Whoa, we can buy all of New York. Oh man, I can buy Fifth Avenue." Crazy.
So who's in America can we thank for that? For all of this that's happening to fact.
I got 4 syllables for you. DC elites.
So that includes all of that. That runs the gambit.
Doesn't run, but there's one guy that isn't a DC elite. They want him out. Who's the guy that they want to destroy? And they're trying their darndest with Russian collusion, with racism, now racist,
Joe Biden,
impeachment. Yeah, right. Like, who are they trying to get out? Who are they trying to destroy? They're absolutely trying to destroy
Kamala. They don't want her to be president. They're against her.
Oh, come on, dude.
I'm giving you my sarcasm.
You got to do it better.
Come on, Devie, answer the question, buddy.
Now it's the two minorities against each other. All right, let's just, hey, Jay, let's just sit back and watch.
That's the divide and conquer
divide. Yeah. We're supposed to come together here, Will. People of color, man. We're supposed to be going to get, what's up, brother?
So, Devie, let's come together, okay? What is it that they want to push if the Democrats get in control? They want to make D.C. a state, and they want to make Puerto Rico a state. So D.C., okay, that's where you live at. Puerto Rico is where I come from, right? My family does. I was born in Chicago, okay? Why is it that the Democrats want to capitalize off of D.C. and Puerto Rico, Devie? Just answer that. Oh,
power,
because
it's
black people tend to vote Democrat. Oh, Latinos tend to vote Democrat. Yeah. Somebody's changing that. The landscape is changing.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it's because of Trump. I don't believe it's because of what he's doing. I do believe we've said this, and even Dr. Umar Johnson, who Scott, you say you don't care for, but he's on record saying.
I think I've listened to 10 minutes of him, but we'll hear him. We'll hear him in a second here. I got him.
That's another topic. We'll bring it up. Yeah, but the Democratic Party has really slept on the black vote. Like the Black America has been married to the Democratic Party for so long.
Why?
And we're like,
why? You're black. Speak for your community. Why married to the Democratic Party?
Well, because they wrap up these gifts in these false promises. And they present it to Black Americans, say, "Hey, we're gonna solve all your problems, what you all are going through in this country," and then when they get in there, and then they take it away. So that's what's been happening, and so you don't hear that. You don't necessarily hear that from the Republican Party of saying, "Okay, how are we going to help one of the most disenfranchised races in this country?" You don't hear that. And the Democrats, they do play on that. Now, whether they answer the bell, that's what's starting to happen. So people are like, okay, y'all have had this long enough. We're sick of it. We're tired of it. No more.
I'm interested in a conversation based on this, Deves, from you. What would it take? What I mean, if there's something that you say, hey, listen, we as a Black community are looking for. I even hate to say it because I'm not looking for the government to do anything for me, right? I'm looking for them to leave me alone and let me run a business. Hey, do me a favor. I'm a capitalist. Let me buy the real estate I want to buy. Let me set up rentals. One of my businesses makes plenty of money helping other people become real estate investors. And we all know that because we're all doing it. But what is it that the Black community is like? Well, I see. I don't want help from the government. I want the government to get out of my way. What are you looking for? As I may be as a representative on this show, what is the Black community looking for?
Right. Yeah. So one of the things is access to wealth, right? Having that access to the wealth because it's no secret.
How do you get that? How do we get that? Like, how do you get the access to wealth? What kind of policy would you suggest be created?
Well, we know there's no secret. There's no secret that in this country, with redlining and you going, like if I was to go into a bank and you were going into the same bank, the likelihood of you getting a loan is much higher than me as a Black person.
But there's no law that says I deserve a loan before you do, right?
No, there's no law. There's no law. However, the power shift is Black people. We don't. What do we own in this country? What do we own? We don't own anything. We've been the driving force of how this country has been built.
I got a question. Can I dispute that? Can I dispute that?
Okay.
You own your own destiny, don't you?
Okay.
I mean, would you disagree with that? I mean,
right.
That we all start as babies. We all start as babies, and
but we all don't start at the same. We all don't start at the same.
Oh yeah, I did not start. I did, man. I can tell you this: Bill Gates's kids probably started off better than I did. Right? Hold on. I'm gonna go here. So I didn't get. I'm not equal Bill Gates's kids, am I?
Okay, systematically, you are.
Really? I'm the same as Bill Gates. I mean, the dude lives in a 66,000 square foot house when he was born. Bill Gates. Okay. So how am I equal to that?
Listen to what I'm saying. Systematically.
Okay.
Yes. Systematically, I don't have the same head start that you got, Scott.
When you say I had a head start, I mean, my mom and dad lost a house. We had to move into an apartment. Man,
this has been the beauty about Black America, though, with all the things that has been against us, we still keep rising and rising and rising, and that's what's really been happening, right? And how many? I could even. This is a point I'm making. How many of you all have experienced police brutality?
I want you to finish this question for me. You didn't answer the question.
Okay,
I'm going to answer the question for him.
Do you own the destiny? Do you own your destiny, or does somebody else?
I would like to think I own my destiny. Okay. However, if there are some powers against it. That we do know that there are some powers.
You think the government can do something about clearing the way for you?
The government can have a part to play, but I don't think the government should be the.
Would they have to enact? Would they have to enact laws that would favor you and disenfranchise me?
Well, why do they have to disenfranchise you in order for it to favor me?
I don't know. I mean,
what would happen? What would happen that would disenfranchise you if Black America was afforded all the same opportunities?
They do. I'm going to say that you already have the same opportunity
with no roadblocks.
Yeah, I don't think you. I'm going to say this
with no systematic, systematic challenges in place. And what would disenfranchise you?
We know each other. You and I know each other because of what I do for a living. Does that make sense?
Correct.
So you met me, and you had two choices. You say, "Man, this guy Scott Rowe is willing to help anybody out because he gets on every morning and he coaches, and he helps, and he mentors." Right. So in my world, I'm actually helping. I believe this is my mission in what I do, and everybody can dispute it if they want because they all work with me. We all work together. So I believe that my role in this world is to help people find their inner champions and then capitalize on that so that they never have to have another victim statement in their life going, well, the reason I'm not this is because of this. Would you agree that that is my mission?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't we get that across to everybody in America? Like, hey, listen, you can be anybody you want.
They don't want that. I agree with you, right? It's like I said, my upbringing, my mom always said, hey, despite what may be used against you, you still can rise above it, right? So we do know that. I know that. And your mission is helping people. And that's what we're saying. We collectively, the Black America is saying, you know what? We don't need your handouts. We're not looking for handouts. But don't give me your fist and keep to try to keep me from achieving great things, right? So systematically, that's what's been happening to us for forever, because our education system, you would take
ding 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 ding, you hit it right on the money right there.
Right. So the education system is completely different.
It's called school choice.
Say again.
School choice.
Donald Trump's for school choice.
Yeah, school choice. The Democrats don't want school choice.
They don't.
Right? They're unionized and they don't want charter schools.
They don't.
And in the State of the Union address where Nancy Pelosi ripped up his speech, okay, he had an African American with her daughter there, and she was in a charter school, succeeding. Okay. Now, the majority of my friends, Cabrini Green. So when you say Black, I'm just as Black because you know what? Blacks are the number one minorities. Latinos are second. They always represented me. Right. My friends were from Cabrini Green. Okay. But our school system did not set us up. Okay. Wells High School did not set us up for success. Oh, no. All right, drunk school teachers getting paid still. After I left, the gym teacher, Malone, I believe it was, got arrested for selling cocaine. Just think about this, right? Now, Michelle Obama, she went to a charter school. She went to a magnet school, okay, Whitney Young High School, the second best high school back then compared to Lane Tech, and why did she go there? Where did Obama went to? Okay, he went to Hawaii, privileged school. Okay, but when you're fighting, right, the education system, the odds are stacked against you. The odds are stacked against you, and it's hard to fight from that. Okay, and then the government is interfering, right? These Democrats by handouts, Social Security, disability, welfare. All right, I'll give you this. In 1987, my grandfather died. Okay, I went to Puerto Rico. Okay, and it's up there in the mountains, and we had to go to San Juan down in the barrio to bury him. Okay, and we were passing up 20-year-olds. Okay, I was 20 at the same time. Okay, I was riding shotgun in a hearse in the middle, next to my uncle. He's now deceased, and the hearse driver. And I saw kids with a 40-ounce standing on the side of the roads. They would take out their hats and give honor, but they had a 40, a quarter beer in their hands. And my uncle said it best. Ever since they bring disability to this country, Puerto Rico, nobody wants to work. The coffee plantation's gone. The pineapple plantation's gone. The sugar plantation's gone, right? It's government handouts. And now they want to make Puerto Rico a state. Just think about that. And that's abuse. I'm going to give you this, right? Why in Florida, okay? And I'm passionate about this because I'm angry. I'm scared just like Jay is. I'm really, really scared, okay? Now, in Florida, you got... what's his name? He ran for president. He only got one electoral state, or state that I never heard of. The billionaire. Okay, he was locking up black brothers in minorities in as mayor as New York. Okay, now he's bailing out felons, Latinos, and blacks in Florida and paying their restitution in order for them to vote Democratic. And why is that? Oh, it's Bloomberg, Michael Bloomberg, right? Because he got ties to China. He doesn't want that business to end. He knows he's fighting for his business. They're well off. It's time to stop using us on the plantations. It's time to break free. And I'm saying this for blacks, Latinos, whites, all Americans.
Yeah. Yep.
All Americans. Because this has got to stop. This has got to stop. For the first time, they want to take down somebody who's dealing for the people of the United States of America.
All right, listen, we got no more time. That was a good show. And I do have one more clip, the 18-second clip, because it is election day is Tuesday. It's a holiday for me. I'll be dedicating my entire day to the election, whether it be sitting in line voting with my camera, my video, and the election night party that we're having at the office there. So if you want more information about that, go to the Big Divide Show. BigDivideShow.com is where you can post a question. Let us know who your favorite, the host of the week was this week.
Did you say BigDivideShow.com?
I said BigDivideShow.com, Jay.
That's what I thought you said. BigDivideShow.com.
I thought he said
BigDivideShow.com.
BigDivideShow.com is what I thought.
BigDivideShow.com, everybody. That's what I said. All right, we got one last clip here. I want everybody to listen to this man because I think he's got it right. So to end the show out here, I'm going to leave it with this gentleman.
Barry, who you voting for?
Donald J. Don Trump, the Don.
Why?
Because he's the best president since sliced bread.
That is funny.
The man do what he say he's gonna do. I never seen it yet in my life. Everything the man say he's gonna do, he do it.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us here. Hit the like button. Share this with your friends if you liked it. Let us know who your favorite host was. BigDivideShow.com. We'll see you election night. We'll probably live it off the Facebook page. So go to Big Divide, the Big Divide on Facebook. You can check us out there. I'll probably run in a live feed from our office from there if you can't get to the office. Thanks, guys.
This has been The Big Divide. Don't forget to subscribe for your weekly dose of unfiltered and unapologetic conversation.
Done and done.
And of course, share this episode with all of your friends. Well, maybe not the sensitive ones.
You apologize right now. Do you have a question, topic, or opinion that you want to hear discussed? Go to BigDivideShow.com and tell us all about it.
Or simply look up Big Divide on Instagram or Facebook and send us a message.